Vegetation is an assemblage of plant species and the ground cover they provide. It is a general term without specific reference to particular taxa, life forms, structure, spatial extent, or any other specific botanical or geographic characteristics. And God said, "Let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth." And it was so. And the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind. And God saw that it was good. The lapse of time does not diminish its power. Consequently, that command, "Let the earth bring forth grass," is still causing the earth to bring forth grass and herbs and trees. If the effect of that word had ceased as soon as it was spoken, then there never would have been any more grass. The grass that was brought forth would have ceased to exist. And especially after the fall of man had brought the curse upon the earth, and death had come not only to man, but to animals and plants. If the word by which the grass was brought forth in the beginning had not been in full force, the earth would speedily have become a barren waste. But that word still lives, and therefore we have the earth clothed with grass and abundance of fruit for the food of man. The word which created all things upholds all things. This is not a mere theory, but it is a practical fact. That which is so common a thing as the growth of grass ceases to call forth our wonder, and we get to thinking that it is simply growing of itself without any interposition on the part of God. Indeed, most people would think that it is beneath the dignity of God to pay any attention to so small a thing as the growing of grass. That is just the reason why so few people derive any practical benefit from their professed faith in God. The idea of God is of some being far off, who has no much to do with attending to his own affairs of state, that he has no time to look after the details of his kingdom. They forget that looking after and caring for his creatures, from the greatest to the smallest, is the special work of God. They forget that his greatness consists in his ability to manage the most stupendous affairs, and at the same time to pay attention to the smallest details. But did you know that about 85% of plant life is found in the ocean, with varieties of grass growing on all continents, even in polar regions? A forest can become submerged as the result of a lake or sea level rise that results in a lacustrine or marine transgression, and in place drowning of a forest. A submerged forest that lies beneath a lake can also be formed by the blockage of a river valley, by either a landslide or a man-made dam. In 2015, the BBC published on their website that nature experts have discovered a remarkable submerged forest, thousands of years old, under the sea close to the Norfolk coast. The trees were part of an area known as Doggerland, which formed part of a much bigger area before it was flooded by the North Sea. It was once so vast that hunter-gatherers who lived in the vicinity could have walked to Germany across its landmass. The underwater forest was discovered by Don Watson and Rob Spray from Sea Search on a diving trip to study marine life. The prehistoric forest lay undiscovered until it was exposed by the extreme storms along the east of England coast in December 2013. Again, Lake Kandy is a lake in Kazakhstan, located 2,000 meters above sea level and measuring in at an impressive 400 meters long. It was created after an earthquake in 1911, when a large landslide blocked a gorge and formed a natural dam where rainwater filled the valley. And thanks to the lake's frigid waters, the submerged forest in its midst is replete with great pines that thrive to this very day. A yet wonderful one is Ghana's Lake Volta. It was formed by the Akosombo Hydroelectric Dam and was completed in 1965. It holds the world title for largest surface area of any reservoir and also maintains a hidden cake of dead trees, tropical hardwoods preserved by the lack of oxygen in the water in its midst. Finally, located on the Texas-Louisiana border, Lake Caddo is home to the world's largest cypress forest. Unlike the other lakes in the list, Lake Caddo is home to living trees that still grow from their semi-submerged state. But let us note some simple facts that will justify, even in this scientific age, in believing that the word of the Lord, which in the beginning said, "Let the earth bring forth grass," is still causing the earth to bring forth grass. Who has not watched the springing forth of the tender blade of grass or corn? Have you not at times passed along by the field of corn and noticed a tiny blade pushing its way to the surface, in spite of heavy clouds of earth? Have you not seen a portion of the baked earth heaved up, and looking beneath, have seen that it was helped up by a tiny spire, so tender that it could not support its own weight if released from its position? The blade had as yet scarcely any color, and was but little more than water. For if you had crushed it in your fingers, there would have been scarcely anything but moisture on your hand. Yet this tiny thing was pushing away from before a clod of earth 10,000 times its own weight. Whence comes this power? Is it something that is inherent in the grass? Try it and see. Take that blade of grass that is full and has grown. Select a small clod of earth, not half the size of the one that was pushed away from before it when it was crowding its way to the surface of the ground, and put it upon the grass. What is the result? Anybody can tell you. The grass is crushed to the ground. It has no power of itself. Test it again. Take that blade that is pushing its way to the surface from beneath that clod and remove it from the ground. You take it in your fingers and it lops down over the side of your hand. It cannot stand upright. Scarcely anything can be thought of that is weaker. And yet but a few moments before, it was standing erect and bearing a burden infinitely heavier than itself. Here is a miracle that is worth hundreds of millions of times every year. And yet, there are those who say that the age of miracles is past. The vegetation of the earth is a great miracle harboring great lesson. and it's a wonder that most of this life are found under waters. You may be less known, you may be less recognized or fully exploited, but like the life under the sea, you are the highest contributor to the worth of others. Do not be discouraged when now you seem in the shadow. In your own way, you are unique and destined to shine in the appointed time. Probably, you've not sat down to plan methodically. Maybe you have not been disciplined in bringing to bear your innate talent. Or, just maybe, you have not been close enough to the maker of the seas, the oceans, and the vegetations of the earth. Sometimes the great things need time to be in the undiscovered, to fully ripen. What is the talent you have? What have you that you can do best? Does it pull you to God or only get you human accolades? It is time. It is time to make our Maker proud. Let your light shine and let your worth be seen. Be motivated. Be hopeful.